it's Micah. Welcome to the latest installment of the Sounding Board. This week we're going to talk about Diddy because really right now who isn't talking about Sean Combs? I will be referring to him as Sean Combs because it feels a little odd just saying Diddy, Diddy, Diddy throughout a 10-minute video or however long this ends up being. So Mr. Combs has been in a lot of legal trouble lately, and so this video is not really about music per se, but it's music adjacent because of Diddy's, and there I am calling him Diddy again, contribution to the music industry, which are unmistakable and undeniable. What I want to talk about is more of a social concern around the way that the charges that are being levied against him are being portrayed and the way people are reacting to it on social media and just generally speaking, because I do find it very problematic, and I feel like I'm the only one, which is one of the reasons why I'm making this video, because I feel kind of like, hi, are we not being really, really weird about this? So I just want to voice my concerns about the way this is being reacted to. So point number one is that I don't have all the details and I'm not following the story closely. I just know that there are sex trafficking, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, possibly swirlings happening, allegations happening around Sean Combs and his camp or his immediate circle. And I also know that there have been rumblings of this for a long time, and a lot of it's been coming from sources that I would customarily brush off as being rumor mills. So I don't know the severity of the charges exactly. I have not followed the story closely. So there are some caveats to my opinion. It's based totally on my exposure, which in some cases is limited. So this reaction or this video is really more so where I stand based on what I know. So there could be things that I'm not aware of. I appreciate anyone laying in some extra details in the comments, but any comments that are overly preachy or say things like what you fail to understand are subject to being removed, because I can't fail to understand something that I'm not previously aware of. So the tone is going to be important, and that's really my point about this video and about our discourse about music and music adjacent topics like musical figures in general. Tone is everything. Like the way you approach your disagreements or the way you approach your negative reactions to things is really, really crucially important. So with that being said, what I'm seeing online is a circus type celebratory, almost festive atmosphere around these charges, where everyone is trying to top everyone else with the funnier or more outrageous meme or video or picture that they can caption in a really funny way to capture how upside down this man's life has turned because of these allegations. And it's troubling to me because it's one thing to say these are serious charges, and if he's guilty of these charges, then he definitely deserves whatever happens, whatever punishment is given to him. And I'm sorry for any negative things, any crimes that were committed, any harassment, abuse, being uncomfortable, anything that anyone's experienced as a result of his actions. But I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing empathy for victims. What I'm seeing is this circus atmosphere where it's all about, haha, we got him. He's been taken under now. So it just has an air of jealousy and comeuppance about it. And this is something that I've talked about in relationship to Beyonce, J-Lo, like just about, it's a running theme in these reaction videos. And I keep calling them reaction videos because that's most of what I do on the channel. But again, this is me reacting. It's just not reacting to music. It's reacting to things that I see in society. but this it's the running theme. It's like people like to lay into celebrities for no other reason than they are celebrities. The way this would be looked at if he was only a moderately successful uh, musical figure or entrepreneur is totally different from the way it's being handled because he is such a prominent figure. There is a tap dancing on his grave type of atmosphere around it, and I think that I find that incredibly distasteful, and it reveals a lot of jealousy. The other piece about it that makes me very uncomfortable is that there are some clear homophobic undertones to the whole proceedings. Part of what makes this so lurid, and what makes it really lurid for some people, is the aspect of there being DL homosexual activity involved or layered into what's going on here. So far, most of the charges seem straightforward abuse charges. Cassie, his was his ex was the first one to come out with the charges. There's been other charges from women. There's been other general charges that relate to being involved in sex trafficking, but so far I've not heard anything come out that's in terms of formal charges that relate specifically to anything that would indicate that he was doing anything that was gay. Now, however, about 80% of the online ha 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 memes and jokes and everything that are being talked about are in some way poking fun at these alleged, encounters and situations that he was putting other male celebrities into. And there is such a sense of fun around this idea that Sean Combs is secretly gay, or maybe, to some people not so secretly. And this concept of trying to figure out people who have not made public their sexual orientation is incredibly problematic. I wish I had pulled up the Tyler James. Did I say his name right? I wish I had this quote up that he made when people were speculating about his sexuality. It was a brilliant and very on the nose statement about the problematic nature of trying to out celebrities, and this idea that that celebrities are entitled to let you know about their personal lives, and that if somehow they're not giving you every piece of themselves, that they are shady, that they are sneaking around, that they are bad people. This is something that I think needs to stop. And so much so many of these allegations have nothing to do specifically with being gay, because that's not a crime, but a lot of people are taking a great deal of joy for him being called out for these crimes that are adjacent to or can point to evidence that can confirm what people have been whispering for years. So that's part of the circus-like atmosphere. The other thing that's going on is that there doesn't appear to be anybody on either side of the question about the whole gay thing that is going to support him, because the homophobic people are homophobic, and so they have cast this seamy underworld of sexual activity as being sinful and predatory and something that's specific to the Hollywood scene or the entertainment industry, and it's a whole industry of grooming, and there's a narrative around that says, oh, this is bad because it's this is a pervasive evil. It's more or less a conspiracy theory about how entertainment is some special animal where people do things privately that are sexual, when I think that's kind of how most of us operate in the real world. Um, so that's number one. The homophobic people obviously are going to have a field day and make fun of him left and right. And then the people who would seem to be in his corner are also not claiming him because he's not been forthright about any non-heterosexual leanings that he has. He's put up this, front, according to them, of being this big music honcho and with the type A personality and the he's been aggressively heterosexual, not as aggressively heterosexual as some folks out there, 50 Cent, but he is definitely in that, he's definitely more so in that realm than not. So to me, it's like he's getting it from both sides, when in fact, anything that's going on that has anything to do with him being gay or doing anything that was same-sex oriented would be clearly secondary to the charges against him, which is to say that he was doing stuff that was either illegal because it involved sex trafficking, or something that was non-consensual, or something that was, as is now being alluded to, that he was doing things that were with underage people. Those are separate charges. But what ends up happening is that people are using this to mix together the illegal and unethical and immoral things he was doing together with the gay stuff, and to kind of get us back to that narrative we were in 2 generations ago, where being gay was inherently evil, or was considered to be evil. So I just feel like we should be careful with that. A word that I see being thrown around quite loosely on social media now is zesty. And every time a celebrity has a moment of emotion, has a moment of joy, has a moment, a male celebrity has a moment of joy or emotion or affection that's even remotely in the neighborhood of another person of the same gender, someone is going to pop up a little smart-ass comment about it being, that person being a little zesty. So zesty to me is, at this point, is a homophobic slur. It's a coded slur because people know you can't say the F word anymore. People know you can't say the word homosexual in a judging, Bible thumping type of way without being regarded a certain way. You can feign acceptance by using an adjective like zesty, and seemingly just be pointing people in a direction of, hey, I think this guy might be gay. The other thing that people say is suspicious or sus or suspect. I assume sus is like sort of an abbreviation of either or. But again, it's not suspicious if there's nothing to be suspicious about. No one suspects that you like French fries. It's only suspicious if the thing that you're suspecting about the person is wrong. But even people who claim that, I don't have a problem with gay people, are going to talk about, he's sus, and that's where the homophobia kind of bleeds back in. We've gotten to this place of acceptance, but then we have these coded homophobic darts that we throw in between, even to the point where it's internalized, where I've seen, other gay people trying to out people, or trying to flesh out that type of behavior based on things that they see in videos. Originally, the primary gist of this video wasn't about homophobia, but I think that's such a huge part of what's going on here that it bears noting. So, in conclusion, these allegations are serious. If Sean Combs did these things, then he needs to be held accountable for them. Having a carnival-like atmosphere around the fact that he's being prosecuted for these things just smacks of jealousy, and in the ways in which he's being called out with an undue emphasis on the things that are non-heterosexual makes me wonder what the real underlying agenda is of the people who are posting these things in jest, supposedly, in fun, and in self-righteousness. Because a big part of it is, if anyone dares call them out on their behavior, I'm sure these people will say, oh, so you're supporting this person who did these things. And there's a way to be a decent person and not celebrate someone's life falling apart. And I'll close with that. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, please feel free to do so. And please help me to make music better.